Bienvenue! Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. We're going to talk about Backlash from May the 4th, 2024. Backlash France, crowd molten throughout the entire evening, even though the matches themselves wanted the crowd to calm down. All of these matches were too long. I mean, let's just get the long and the short of it out of there. Except the main event, which I thought was very good. All of these matches were entirely too long, and in some ways probably burnt the crowd out. The show was only 2 hours and 50 minutes, which was a surprise to me. But it was fairly obvious that nothing major was going to happen on this show. And there was only one title switch and nothing major really occurred. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's start it with the main event. Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles to maintain the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes not only kicked out of a burning hammer, but fired up after the burning hammer. He turned into Hulk Hogan, for God's sakes. Cody Hogan. The crowd was really good for this match, really aided the match. This match was as good as I thought it was going to be. Clearly, it would have been better if both of these guys would have wrestled in like 2016 in a top match. It would have been so much better. But it was very good here. The crowd had the camera rumbling at certain points. They were really into it. Crossroads, AJ loses. No big deal here. Cody needs some meat on the bone at this point now. He needs some meat to chew on. He needs some bone, dog. You know, AJ Styles is a good opponent, but he needs something major. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill win the Women's Tag Team Championships from Asuka and Kairi Sane. Amazing counter from Jade Cargill on really tiny Kairi Sane. She threw her up on her shoulders in a powerbomb position, then spun her around, hit Jaded. Asuka got KO'd on top of Kairi Sane, and then they actually pinned Asuka to win the match. It's a very good match. The crowd was incredibly hot for it. I just felt like it went too long. You know, but nobody stunk the joint up. Kairi Sane is very good. She's small, but, you know, like when she had an arm bar on Jade Cargill, I was like, I don't know. This is two different breeds of human being here. You know, like, she's so tiny. It's like, you know, your daughter trying to put you on an arm lock or something like that. I thought like that was kind of silly. But what else could she do? She's so damn small. You know, what can she do? She's doing stuff off the top rope to Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair is taking huge bumps to make it look good. But that's the best you could do. You could try to put her over. She's just so damn tiny. You know, I don't know. I don't know how you can work with Kairi. Like, the Twin Towers, they did the best they could. But Kairi is so goddamn small, man. It's hard to make her look credible against these two Amazons. All right, match 3. Damian Priest defeats Jey Uso with the South of Heaven off the second rope. Great finish. Match entirely too long. I said that already, but this match, oh boy. The crowd was really hot for it. This was one of those matches where I think that it went so long that even the hot crowd was like, okay, come on. You know, like, let's go. Let's end this. Jey Uso, incredibly over. You know, hot talent, really hot. Is not world championship material. In the ring, he's just not great. I struggle to think of a move he did that wasn't a super kick or a spear. This match was so... With his limited move set, his matches do not need to be that long. All right? Damian Priest was a guy who was so much cooler in NXT. I think he's actually being done a disservice with this gothic character that they got him running around with. It's hard to say, but he's also in a bit of a tweener position. The crowd absolutely loves Jey Uso, but when it comes to Damian Priest, they're kind of trying to play him in the middle. JD McDonough and Finn Balor, were interfering. Damian Priest didn't want them to interfere. He was yelling at JD McDonough about interfering in his matches. He didn't want that. Finn Balor was helping him. He didn't even know Finn Balor was there. That's how stealthy the Prince really is. After the match, though, after Finn Balor helped them win, he didn't know that, they attacked Jey Uso, and Damian Priest actually pulled the two guys off of him. He actually demanded that Judgment Day not beat up Jey Uso after the match. That was very interesting, leading towards, Damian Priest wants to be a little bit more independent. I guess they're leaning more towards him working by himself. So I guess he probably will end up being the guy dropping the belt to Drew. They're going to end up, instead of dropping the belt to a babyface like Jey Uso and having Jey Uso lose the belt to Drew, which would have in some ways completed their story, because, Drew McIntyre hates the Bloodline, specifically Jey Uso, for costing him the title. So instead of having Jey Uso win the belt and then Drew McIntyre beat him for it, they're going to have Damian Priest turn babyface, and Drew's going to beat him for it. The outcome is the same, except for you still got that dangling plot thread of Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre that they haven't tied up yet. But there's also that plot thread of Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre from WrestleMania. So that's a more noticeable story that needs to be closed. So they're going to work on turning Damian Priest babyface, which could work because he might be a better babyface than he is a heel. But he's got to separate from Judgment Day. This Judgment Day thing is just not working anymore. It worked for Dominic Mysterio, but he's not getting pushed anymore. Now he's hurt. It worked for Rhea Ripley, but Rhea was over before she even got put in Judgment Day. JD McDonough is useless. Just send him to AEW with the rest of the small feet crew. Damian Priest, I don't know how you make him cool again. Like, he was cool in NXT. How do you make this guy cool again? I don't know, man. I don't think you can put the toothpaste back in the tube. I'm not sure you can do that. But, whatever. Match 2, Bayley defeats Naomi to maintain the women's championship, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. Bayley and Naomi hugged after the match to show respect. Tiffany Stratton did really good in this match. She did a handspring into the barricade. That was really good. You had Naomi and Bayley. They actually did a tag team move on Tiffany Stratton. I think it was like the 3D or something like the Big Rig. It was interesting. Bayley wins the match, which everybody knew she was going to. Crowd absolutely loved Bayley. They didn't have Naomi do like a clean job to one of Bayley's finishers. They actually just had Bayley counter a roll up to win the match. Very impressive. The match itself was okay. Bayley winning was, what it was. And can't complain too much. Match the first. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton was defeated by Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa when Tangaloa appears to help the Bloodline win. This match was turned into a street fight when these four guys, started to brawl before the match got started. Nick Aldis came out there and made a no disqualification, no count out street fight. And from there, the Bloodline got their shit kicked in for literally 6 minutes maybe? They got very little offense in the early part of this match. Then Randy Orton got put through a table and promptly vanished for 5 minutes. And, Randy, he went on vacation. He came back with a better tan. He was gone that long. He had a t-shirt on. He had a little Eiffel Tower, like he got from the souvenirs. Like, he just came back with a baguette and all kinds of stuff. He was gone literally that long. He was gone long enough to ride a Ferris wheel and come back. He was gone a long time. He was gone long enough to take a shower and come back completely dry. He was gone long enough to go get a new tattoo and it healed by the time the match was over. He was gone that long. He was gone forever. What the hell was that? Why'd you book this large gap of time for Randy to just vanish? Just disappear. Go nowhere. And I'm just looking like, where is this man? Did this man die? Did he evaporate like a Dragon Ball enemy after he got hit with a ki blast? He just and then rematerialized a little bit later? What the fuck? What was that about? Is that how Randy Orton's going to do the rest of his career now? Oh, I'm taking one bump. Oh, my back. oh, my neck, oh, my shoulders, and just stay down for 15 minutes. That's just crazy. It's just insanity. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Tanga Loa comes in, helps his brother, helps Solo Sikoa. The Gorillas of Destiny are in WWE. Half excited about that. Really excited about it because I was a big fan of the Gorillas of Destiny years ago in New Japan when they were good. At least 10 years ago. But since, I don't know, about 3 or 4 years ago, Tanga Loa is he's terrible. He is terrible. And I don't know if he's terrible on purpose and that maybe he just stopped caring. But Tanga Loa sucks. Am I still interested in the Gorillas of Destiny versus the Usos? Yes. I think that could still be a huge match. I can't wait to see how they build it. But Tanga Loa does not fill me with excitement. I do not like Tanga Loa. He sucks. All right. He's no good. I was also very surprised that the New Japan Never Openweight belt was given shine on a WWE pay-per-view. I wanted to strangle Michael Cole for mentioning that fucking belt. I hate that belt. You want to mention the tag team titles and him being in Japan? Okay, great. Most people that never don't know him, all right, you can't show a video package. You got to talk about it. All right. Okay. But that Never belt should never come out of your mouth. That belt sucks. You shouldn't even want him associated with that belt. Anybody who won that belt, touched that belt, should never be mentioned again. That belt sucks. But I love Solo Sikoa teaming with the Gorillas of Destiny. It's a whole new bloodline. And they got one mo left. They got one mo. So I'm very interested. The people didn't know quite how to react to Tanga Loa when he came out. It was like a hush. Because it was typical bloodline stuff where a guy comes out, brown guy jumps out of nowhere, attacks somebody. And everybody's like, who? What? And maybe these French fans, they don't know who this fucking guy is, man. This guy been in Japan for 15 years. They don't know who he is. They have no earthly idea. They can't hear Michael Cole yelling about that being Tama Tonga's brother. They can't hear that. All they see is he's a brown guy and he's hanging out with the other brown guys. And, you put 2 and 2 together. It's an AEW story at this point. Who the fuck is this guy? It's another one. More fucking Samoans. He's not even Samoan. More fucking Samoans. Oh, yeah. Endless Samoans. Everybody's waiting for Jacob Fatu, and Triple H is clearly playing with us when it comes to that. Jacob Fatu is the crown jewel of this thing. So when he shows up, we know that the game is going to be a little bit different. Later in the show, the Gorillas of Destiny and Solo Sikoa, they intimidated Jey Uso a little bit. They kind of planted the seed that they might do something to Jey, which, his title match was immediately after that. So they kind of led you to believe that, they may cost Jey the match, which is what I started thinking. But they didn't go that route. Instead, they had Judgment Day cost them the match, which, whatever. Who cares? But Tanga Loa, okay. I can't complain, I guess. You have to complete the set. When you go out and you collect things, you have to complete the set. That includes maybe some issues you don't really like that much. That might mean getting some of the collectibles you don't really care that much about. Just need to complete the set. So there it is with Tanga Loa. He's here now. Maybe he'll be better. Maybe he just didn't care about New Japan anymore and he sucked on purpose. I hope. I pray. I want this match to be good. I want this match to be good. And Tanga Loa blows, so I don't know, man. In any event, they dropped the first Raw matches of the King of the Ring tournament. They decided to go with Gunther and Sheamus in the first round. Oh, brother. Ricochet and Dragunov in the first round. That's going to cook. That's going to be a good one. Ricochet is the speed champion. He's going to lose to Dragunov. So, there that is. I should tell you it's absolutely everything you need to know about that speed belt. Either Dragunov is going to lose his second Raw match, or Ricochet with the speed belt is going to lose. They didn't bother to do the SmackDown side yet. I guess they'll do it closer to the show. There was a little bit of kerfuffle on the conference call after the show about Drew Gulak. This is really unimportant, but some people really got tight-assed about it, so I guess I'll discuss it. Triple H was asked about Ronda Rousey's allegations and the firing of Drew Gulak. So the official report is the last question was asked about PW Insider and Fightful's report on the release of Drew Gulak. He was asked, he being Triple H, if it was true. Then the guy went on to ask about Ronda Rousey allegations against Gulak. Triple H cut him off and said that he should cite credible outlets if he was going to cite them. I am not sure if he was taking a shot at Fightful or us being PW Insider, or Newsmax where Rousey's comments were made about Gulak, but it seemed to me that it was in response to the Newsmax report since he cut the reporter off right away. Triple H said that Gulak wasn't released. His contract expired and it was not renewed. So he is gone from WWE as reported. So everybody was running around in a circle, all the AEW talking heads on Twitter. They're running around in a circle saying this is WWE PR. They didn't even answer the question about Ronda Rousey's allegations. Instead, they quibbled about why Drew Gulak was gone. Which, I say, slight point. It is irrelevant if Drew Gulak is gone because you fired him, or whether his contract was expiring and you chose not to renew. That's neither here nor there. The question you were asked was about whether the drawstring thing happened. But here's the issue. Drew Gulak said that it happened. They were asking him a question to see if he was going to answer it, but all you really needed to do was refer to Drew Gulak's April 3rd tweet where he admitted that it occurred and essentially implied that Ronda Rousey was exaggerating. He said, and I quote, "Backstage at a WWE event in 2022, I saw Ronda talking with a group in the hallway. I stopped to say hi and shake all of their hands. In an attempt to shake her hand, I accidentally touched her drawstring. Complete accident, and one that I had apologized to her for the mishap." So basically he's saying that she is exaggerating this incident. And that, it wasn't that he just walked up to her and grabbed her drawstring, but that it was an accident as he was trying to shake her hand. Let's not get into the fact that how do you accidentally grab somebody's drawstring? I don't know what kind of drawstring it was. I don't know what kind of sweat she was wearing. So I can't tell you whether the drawstring was tucked in or whether it was, outie or innie. How long was it? What was her hand in this whole shenanigans? How far up was it? None of that stuff matters. The thing is, he was accused of being inappropriate with Ronda Rousey in public. WWE looked at this guy, says, we don't really need him, and they fired him. Which everybody knew was going to happen. Everybody knew that was going to happen, so it wasn't a surprise. They can say he ran his contract out if they want to, so they can, try to get around the idea that they're engaging in cancel culture. But ultimately, Drew Gulak was not re-signed, mostly due to this incident. Now, there was some stories that came out a little bit later about Drew Gulak, that he was a bully to the young talent, that he was spiking them, he was targeting injuries, a lot of really devious things that came out after the fact, because they have to justify the firing of Drew Gulak outside of just this drawstring incident. But that's neither here nor there. The issue here is that a lot of the media is upset that Triple H went after PW Insider and Fightful, saying that they're not credible. And the AEW fans, the people who watch, Voices of Wrestling and all this kind of stuff, which we'll talk about some other time, think that all of these websites are WWE organs because all they do is put out puff pieces. They don't really criticize WWE, all this kind of stuff. In reality, all that's false. They do post stories that they are fed. That part is true. But so do everybody. All of them do it. So, again, we'll talk about that some other time. The issue here is that Triple H is quibbling. He didn't answer about the Ronda Rousey situation. He didn't say whether they investigated it. There doesn't need to be an investigation. This guy already admitted that it occurred. So what investigation do you really need? But he didn't respond to the Ronda Rousey thing. Instead, he attacked the media. So a lot of people are upset at Triple H for that. I don't care. I attack the wrestling media all the time. The wrestling media is co-opted. It's garbage, and it's full of non-professionals and pretty much fans. But again, we'll talk about that some other time. In reality, though, I actually like Fightful is not terrible, and PW Insider is not that bad. In this instance, they actually got it right. Drew Gulak doesn't work there anymore. Now, you could quibble about the reasoning why Drew Gulak don't work there no more, but ultimately, he didn't work there no more. So they were right, and they're standing up for themselves, and they have a right to. Everybody who wants to complain about it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how they got to the outcome. It only matters that they came to the correct outcome. Triple H can quibble all he wants. It's pointless. They came to the appropriate conclusion. Now, what I didn't see is anybody talking about the Gable Steveson thing, because apparently he was also released. This was dropped by Wrestling Observer Newsletter. I don't think anybody asked Triple H about that. But in any event, Triple H justified the releases by saying the NFL released hundreds of talents. Why is it a big deal in wrestling? Which, is a basic question. And people were like, ugh, Triple H talks about people like they're garbage. It's like he's talking to you like you're an adult who should be able to figure out that they're running a roster and they can't have 900 people on the roster at the same time. They release talent that are not improving or not going up to standard, and they replace them with more who might do a better job. That's common. It's common in sports in general. Every time there's people who are released, we don't need to have a solemn cemetery situation because somebody lost their job. This is athletics, as entertainment. People get replaced all the time. Like, we need to get over it. So he's right in so much as people are trying to make too much of these releases. He's wrong and he did not answer the Ronda Rousey situation about whether they looked into it, what he knows about it, or anything like that. He just decided, I ain't going to talk about that. Instead, I'm going to talk about the media not being credible. And the media isn't always credible. The wrestling media is terrible. But you guys already know that. Now, let's talk about the show to wrap this thing up. Backlash, decent show. Pretty good. The main event was really good. I could have done without the kicking out at one bullshit that now Cody is now bringing to WWE, but for the most part, it was a really solid, really good main event. Worked very hard. The rest of the show, decent matches that went on too long. But let me know what and the crowd was very annoying. The crowd got annoying about 4 matches in. I know that's most of the show, but they kept being very repetitive with the stuff that they were chanting. And it became like they're trying to entertain themselves. Like they're in competition with other crowds or something. And I was like, okay, engage with the product. That's what we're supposed to be doing here. You're supposed to be engaged in the product, not just generally happy to be there. But whatever. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.